welcome to my new video. This is going to be me attempting to read 7 romance books in 7 days. So the first book that I'm going to read today on Monday is 1,000 Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole. I love the cover of this. Like, I know you're not meant to judge them by their covers, but the artist in me just can't help it, and this is literally my aesthetic to a T. There will be spoilers because that's literally what I do, is I read significant parts of the plot and then discuss them. One kiss lasts a moment, but 1,000 kisses can last a lifetime. One boy, one girl. A bond that is forged in an instant and cherished for a decade. A bond that neither time nor distance can break. A bond that will last forever, or so they believe. When 17-year-old Rune Christensen returns from his native Norway to the sleepy town of Blossom Grove, Georgia, where he befriended Poppy Litchfield as a child, he has just one thing on his mind. Why did the girl who was one half of his soul, who promised to wait faithfully for his return, cut him off without a word of explanation? Rune's heart was broken 2 years ago when Poppy fell silent. When he discovers the truth, he finds that the greatest heartache is yet to come. Oh, that was so sad. So it basically starts off with explaining how Rune and his family moved from Norway to America, and he just like really didn't want to be there at first. Then he met Poppy and they became best friends and he completely changed his mind. And then it's just had the first chapter where her grandma's died, but she's given her the jar with the like paper kisses that she's got to write on every time that like she has one that is like really special. I didn't really know a lot about this book going into it, and the fact that it's like really sad at the minute. So basically, Rune and Poppy have been together for a few years at this point, and when he was 15, his dad had to move back to Norway for work, so he had to take the whole family with him. And then 2 years later, I think they're coming back, so we've just got to the part where they went to Norway. Rune and Poppy had like kept in touch, kept in contact, talking for like 2 months or something, and then all of a sudden like Poppy completely dropped contact. So Rune had like wondered why, basically. So Rune and his family have just got back and he's very different. Apparently he fell in with a bad crowd in Norway and he's just acting very rebellious and completely different. But he hasn't actually seen Poppy yet since he'd been back. So she saw him through the window, but they haven't like had any interaction yet. But it sounded like she had a lot to go through and she's like cut her hair and everything, so I have a theory. I also just wanted to say how perfect is my broken hearted t-shirt for this video. And then she went to this party that Jory dragged her to, and basically he wasn't going to be there, but she saw him, and then he wouldn't let her leave because he wanted her to tell him why she cut him off. And then she managed to get out and like start running home, start running through like the cherry blossom bit. But he followed her and like he just kept like pushing and pushing for her to tell him. Turns out she's really ill. This book's so sad, so cute but so sad. So they never dated when they were younger, so they've just gone on their first date, and it's the first time they've like properly hung out since they've both been back and everything, and oh my god, it was so cute. Now they're just like trying to spend like whatever time they have together. I have a awful feeling like if most of them this week are like this, I'm going to be an emotional wreck by the end of the week. But they've just been to the beach and basically she has helped him rediscover his passion. So they've just been to New York and oh my god, it was the cutest thing ever. Like he surprised her by taking her to Carnegie Hall, which is where she's always dreamed of like going and being part of like the orchestra and performing there. But it was like completely empty and they had it to themselves and she could just play on the stage. I kind of don't want to keep reading because it's just so sad. I think I've got like 70 pages or something left. Oh my god, no, stop. He took pictures of the sunsets and sunrises, sorry, and everything that she missed for her. But he's been at the hospital with her like the whole entire time that she's been in a coma. And so his dad has like developed all the photos for him and took them in a photo album for him, because obviously he hasn't like left her side. And now they're looking through them together, and he's turned her bed so that she can watch the sunrise in the morning when she wakes up. Okay, I didn't do an update from where I was. I've just finished 1,000 Boy Kisses. My god, that was an emotional roller coaster. I never cry at books, right? I get sad, but I don't ever cry. I've never cried at a book. This, however, that was a lot. That was so sad, but so cute and beautiful. My god, I love this book. Definitely a 5 stars. Oh, it was so cute. It was so sad, but so cute, and just like, oh, that ending as well. Oh my god. No, I'm gonna get emotional if I keep on. Yesterday I was literally sobbing and bawling my eyes out at 1,000 Boy Kisses. So it's day 2 now. So it says, when a fake relationship between scientists meets the irresistible force of attraction, it throws one woman's carefully calculated theories on love into chaos. As a third-year PhD candidate, Olive Smith doesn't believe in lasting romantic relationships, but her best friend does, and that's what got her into this situation. Convincing Anne that Olive is on her way to a happily ever after was always going to be tough. Scientists require proof. So like any self-respecting woman, Olive panics and kisses the first man she sees. That man is none other than Adam Carlson, a young hotshot professor and well-known arse, which is why Olive is positively flawed when he agrees to help her keep her charade a secret and be her fake boyfriend. But when a big science conference goes haywire and Adam surprises her again with his unyielding support and his unyielding abs, their little experiment feels dangerously close to combustion. Olive soon discovers that the only thing more complicated than a hypothesis on love is putting her own heart under the microscope. So it started off in the prologue where she's like going for an interview at Stanford to see if she can become a PhD student there, but she put like out of date contacts in, so her eyes were like really irritated and she was like crying and stuff because of it. And she met someone, but she couldn't make out who it was because obviously she didn't have her contacts in anymore, so she couldn't tell. And then the first chapter, I didn't realise it was going to start like so, like just straight into the story basically. So she's like kissed Adam Carlson, who is apparently a well-known arse. They've agreed to fake date because there's rumours going around that they are dating already. They're mutually gonna gain from it. She's just told Malcolm, her roommate. The only thing that like is bugging me a little bit is how many times it's said that he's like so tall. So they've had a couple of their coffee shop fake dating Wednesday meetings, and she's been getting ready for this guy who she's been emailing about like getting new funds and equipment and stuff. She was getting ready to meet him, and turns out that he is friends and collaborator with Adam Carlson, so I don't know if that means that their like fake relationship is gonna affect that in any way or not. So I've been thinking from the beginning that he is the guy from the prologue when her expired contacts were in. It's not been confirmed yet, but like she thinks that that's a possibility. But they've been getting along. They've had some really cute moments, like at the picnic and stuff, if you've read it and you know. And now she's come to the realisation that she thinks she's probably got feelings for him, which, well, she does. And I'm fairly sure that he has feelings for her because of how he's been with her rather than everyone else. Like, it kind of gives like I hate everyone in the world but you vibes. Adam's friend, Tom Benson, I think his name is. What a dick. My god, I did not like that man. And he was... he was so rude, so discriminatory, and just... so everything that he did kind of came out. And obviously Olive had the recording of what he said, and then they ended up together in the end, and I really loved this book. So I think I'd give it like a 4.5 stars. So it's day 3 and the book for today is Punk 57. So it's in 2 perspectives, Misha and Ryan. So Misha, it says, "Where'd you go? I miss you so. Seems like it's been forever that you've been gone. In 5th grade, my teacher set us up with pen pals from a different school, thinking I was a girl with a name like Misha. The other teacher paired me up with her student, Ryan. My teacher, believing Ryan was a boy like me, agreed. It didn't take long for us to figure out the mistake, and in no time at all, we were arguing about everything. The best takeout pizza, Android versus iPhone, whether or not Eminem is the greatest rapper ever. And that was the start. For the next 7 years, it was us. Her letters are always on black paper with silver writing. Sometimes there's 1 a week or 3 in a day, but I need them. She's the only one who keeps me on track, talks me down, and accepts everything I am. We only had 3 rules. No social media, no phone numbers, no pictures. We had a good thing going. Why ruin it? Until I run across a photo of a girl online. Name's Ryan, a high school senior, loves Gallows Pizza and worships her iPhone. What are the chances? Fuck it, I need to meet her. I just don't expect to hate what I find." And then it says, from like Ryan's point of view, "He hasn't written in 3 months. Something's wrong. Did he die? Get arrested? Knowing Misha, neither would be a stretch. Without him around, I'm going crazy. I need to know someone is listening. It's my own fault. I should have gotten his number or picture or something. He could be gone forever, or right under my nose, and I wouldn't even know it." Misha is in a car park, sat in his car, rereading an old letter from Ryan and trying to get like inspiration for song lyrics from it, because he's in a band. And they're doing like a little scavenger hunt party thing that night as like promotion. So his friends keep asking him to go, so he goes there, passes his sister on the way called Annie. She's like been jogging on this like dark road at like 10 o'clock at night. At this scavenger hunt party, he sees Ryan, and he realises that she's there and that's the girl that he's been talking to. Like, he doesn't introduce himself. 3 months later, and he hasn't written her. He's sort of like just completely fallen off the face of the earth. He's at her school sort of like bullying her a bit. She still doesn't know that it's him because he's going by like a fake name. I also just want to say, I'm not sure why it's called Punk 57. They're all like referring to the person that's vandalising the school. Why 57? Oh, I need to find out. So the teacher in the English class has just like paired them up into like pairs or threes. Just want to read this line that I've just come across. So this is Ryan. So basically Lila and Mason, who is Misha, have just been paired up for the task, and she's saying that she's probably going to flirt with him, but she doesn't really care because she doesn't like him, and she's put, it says, "And it doesn't matter. Someone else already has my heart, and Mason Lauren isn't him. He'll never be Misha." He is though. We've just had the car wash bit. If you know, then you know. But like, that scene, and then they've just had another moment at school, and I think I've just realised why it's Punk 57, because I've just got to this bit on chapter 10 of Misha's, and it says 57 times I didn't call, 57 letters I didn't send, 57 stitches to breathe again, and then I fucking pretend. Oh my god, is she the one that's originally been like vandalising the school? I was right, it is her. And I should have known because of the blue paint on her hands before. So we've just had the scene at the drive-in movie theatre, and I think he was about to tell her the truth of who he is, but then he chickened out. I should have seen the signs that she's punk from the beginning with like the blue paint on her hands and things. I've just finished chapter 12 and what he says to the principal. She's just put the pieces together and realised that Misha is actually Mason. The principal is his mum. Oh, that's how Trey had the watch. I finally finished it. Oh my god, I love this book so much. Like, the ending as well is so cute. Like, some of the twists in this book, probably because I wasn't really looking for them, but also I just genuinely didn't expect and see coming. Really enjoyed this one. I think I would definitely give this a 5 stars. I can't believe it's day 4 of this already. But today's book is Confess by Colleen Hoover. Auburn Reed has lost everything important to her. In her fight to rebuild her shattered life, she has her goals in sight and there is no room for mistakes. But when she walks into a Dallas art studio in search of a job, she doesn't expect to find a deep attraction to the enigmatic artist who works there, Owen Gentry. For once, Auburn takes a chance and puts her heart in control, only to discover that Owen is keeping a major secret from coming out. The magnitude of his past threatens to destroy everything Auburn loves most, and the only way to get her life back on track is to cut Owen out of it. To save their relationship, all Owen needs to do is confess, but in this case the confession could be much more destructive than the actual sin. In her magnificent and exceptional style, Colleen Hoover delivers once again a deeply moving story about how true love and family are ties that can never be broken. The artist in me can't wait because I know there's like actual artwork in this book as well. She had a boyfriend who I understand was like dying of cancer, I think, in the prologue. 5 years later, she's like trying to rebuild her life. She's got a job, but she wanted a bit of extra money, so she helps out Owen at his art studio. They've had some like cute flirty moments, and I just want to read this little bit from what I've just read earlier because I really liked the quote and I thought it was really cool. So it says, she smiles at me from across the room and she's ringing up her first transaction. I continue to work the crowd, mingling, all the while watching her out of the corner of my eye. Tonight everyone's focus is on my art, but my focus is on her. She's the most interesting piece in this entire room. And also I love the cover, like, I'm not being funny, but the fact that it's designed to look like a canvas and then you can see the image through the title. And I also just love like all of the fact that it actually has like paintings and stuff in it. So they went for a cute date after the exhibition show thing, and then he walked her home and he said that he was gonna go and see her the following night, but he's been arrested. She has a son. I'm wondering if the son of hers she had with the guy that died at the start. Also, Owen's told her that his mum and brother died in a car accident when he was 16. So I don't know why her son doesn't live with her and why he lives with this Lydia person and who Lydia is. Okay, so Adam, the guy who died at the start, was or is her son's father, and Lydia is his mum. I do not like Trey. I have no words. Like, he's hitting on his dead brother's ex-girlfriend. So much has happened. She was with Trey recently, so that she could be involved with AJ more. So she'd had to like ignore Owen for a few months, and then Trey turned around to her and said that he was out of town for the weekend. He wasn't. And so she went and spent the night with Owen, and that was like gonna be their like last night together and stuff. So she left him a confession on the pillow as well, and then Owen like went to the pub and then came back like a couple of hours later, and someone had completely destroyed his studio. Hadn't touched the painting that he had made of Auburn, but they took the confession that was by it. Trey's just like basically assaulted her and like not taken no for an answer. I just don't like him at all. Like, there's so many red flags with him. Like, I knew it from the beginning that Trey is just like not a nice person at all. I hate Trey even more now, and oh my god, he's like obsessive stalker. He's like planting stuff and like using his position as a cop to like frame. Oh my god. So she's basically blackmailed Lydia and Trey so that Trey dropped the charges against Owen so that he would be released, and now she has custody of AJ. He says, "Neither of us speaks because there aren't any words good enough for me either. I press my cheek to the top of her head and stare inside her apartment. I look up at the painting on her living room wall. I smile, remembering the first night I walked into her apartment and saw it for the first time. I knew she had to have the painting in her possession somewhere, but actually seeing it displayed in her living room was an incredible feeling. It was surreal, and I wanted to turn to her that night and tell her all about it. I wanted to tell her my connection to it. I wanted to tell her my connection to her, but I didn't, and I never will, because this confession isn't mine to share. This confession belonged to Adam." Oh my god, I love this book so much. That ending was so adorable. This book definitely, hands down, gets 5 stars from me. So day 5, and I'm going to be reading The Flat Share. Their friends think they're crazy, but it's the perfect solution. Leon occupies the 1-bed flat while Tiffy's at work in the day, and she has the run of the place the rest of the time. But with obsessive ex-boyfriends, wrongly imprisoned brothers, and of course the fact that they still haven't met yet, it seems this flat share is more complicated than expected. So his brother is in prison, but for something that wasn't his fault. They still haven't met yet, so they've been sharing the flat for months, and they like, it's so cute because they keep leaving each other little post-it notes everywhere. And one of her friends is a lawyer. She's a book editor, but her friend is like a barrister or something. And so because she's found out about his brother being like wrongly imprisoned, she's asked her friend to like look into it and maybe help if she can. Leon has broken up with Kay, but they've just like bumped into each other and met properly for the first time by accident in the shower of the flat. I finished The Flat Share last night. This book, oh my god, I loved it so much in the end. Her ex-boyfriend is a gaslighting manipulator, and I hated him. I think I would give it like a 4 stars. It's day 6 now, and we're moving on to One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So it says, "I think that perhaps everyone has a moment that splits their life in two, and I'm certain that this is my moment. High school sweethearts Emma and Jess moved far away from home together, travelling the world, chasing every adventure, building a life of their own. 364 days after their wedding, Jess is on a helicopter that goes missing mid-flight. Suddenly he is gone. Years later, Emma is back in her hometown. She's grieved, she's learned to live again, she's fallen in love. At a family dinner one autumn evening, she receives a phone call from Jess. With a fiancé and a husband, heartbreak lies ahead. But is there such a thing as one true love?" Ooh, this sounds really, really good. Oh, this book is such an easy read and I'm loving it already. Like, it's so good. I'm so happy that I'm reading it. So basically, it starts in like present day where she's engaged to this guy called Sam. and she's at dinner with her family, and then she gets a phone call as they're leaving, and it's from Jess, who I think she was married to, and she thought that he was dead because he had been in like a helicopter crash, or like his helicopter went missing or something, and he was presumed dead. Emma and Jess had got engaged. They'd done like a lot of travelling and stuff, and then they had been together like 9 years or something. And then they got married, and it was like 364 days after they were married, like literally the day before or of their anniversary. And he was declared missing, and now I've just got to the bit where it's saying Emma and Sam, or how to put yourself back together. It's going to be interesting to see where it goes when it faces the fact that she's engaged to Sam but still technically married to Jess. So her and Sam was so cute. Like, Sam was so patient and like gentle with her. And I've just got to the part where they got engaged, and it's been like 2 years since Jess like went missing. But then I think, like, it's been 2 years. Why is it taking him this long to like contact her? That's what I'm wondering. So she's met Jess since he's come back. Turns out he was like, there was a raft on the helicopter with some like ration supplies and things, so he took that, got to like a nearby sort of like island, but it wasn't really an island. It was like really, really small, and he like just sort of spent his time there trying to survive, basically. Sam's called off their engagement, like she's moving out so that she can like make her choice, basically, and not feel guilty. But I genuinely don't know like who she's gonna pick, or even who I want her to be with. God, no, stop. This book was so good. Hands down, 5 stars. And I think she made the right decision, especially for like that point in time. So now we're on to day 7, but the 7th and final book of this video and of the week is Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. I wanted to lose myself in the small town of Pelly on Maine, to forget everything I had left behind, the sound of rain, the blood, the coldness of a gun against my skin. For 6 months, each breath has been a reminder that I survived and my dad didn't. I'm almost safe again, but the moment I meet Archer Hale, my entire world tilts on its axis and never rights itself again. Until I trespass into his strange, silent and isolated world, Archer communicates with no one. Yet in his whiskey-coloured eyes, something intangible happens between us. There's so much more to him than just his beauty, his presence, or the ways his hands communicate with me, on me. But this town is mired in secrets and betrayals, and Archer is the explosive centre of it all. So much passion and so much hurt, but it's in Archer's silence that we might just find what we need to heal and to live. Sounds very good, and I've heard great things about it. So she was going to this little beach, like passing his property, and then she stopped at the gates, and then her dog ran in because the gates were like slightly open, so she ran after the dog to go and get it, and then ended up kind of having a conversation with Archer. She's got a job, she's been out on a night out with some new friends, and his cousin Travis has tried hitting on her. Has been on a date with Travis. They had a kiss, but she felt guilty about Archer. Then she went to Archer's the next day because she was going to teach him how to cook. But then she got tangled up in one of like the traps that his uncle had set around the property, and then it sort of like brought back all of her trauma. But they've had a kiss and she's given him a haircut, and oh my god, it's so cute. I got changed because I spilled some stuff on my clean white top. I knew there was a reason that I didn't like Travis or Victoria Hale either. Travis is like low-key gaslighting Archer and Bree's relationship, and I'm not here for it. He took him to a strip club and she's managed to go home and identify the person that caused all of her trauma. Oh my god, no, stop. Archer went away for like a few months because he wanted to work on himself so that he wasn't such a burden to Bree. And he's just come back at like a New Year's Eve party and like met her on the dance floor. Also, me and Archer are almost birthday besties. His birthday is the day after mine. Oh, I didn't know this book was gonna be that sad as well. Oh my god, I'm actually crying. I thought he was dead. Why is this book another emotional roller coaster? Oh my god. So I finally just finished Archer's Voice. My god, I love this book so much, but that is the last romance book for the week and also for this video. I loved this one so much. I would definitely hands down give it 5 stars. The emotional chokehold that this had on me, like a couple of the other books from this week. Now on to ranking the books, which I did promise, so here they all are, all the 7 books that I read this month. Now I'm just going to go through them. So my favourite of the week, hands down #1 spot, has to go to Archer's Voice. Bear in mind, by the way, that I loved all of these books and most of them were like 5 stars. My favourite reads of all time ever. So there's very little separating these, but I did promise to try and actually do them like 1 to 7 and not just cop out and do like joint first or whatever. So Archer's Voice would be top of the tree, top tier. Then it would be Punk 57 because my god, I loved that book so much. Then you follow that up with 1,000 Boy Kisses, which this was the biggest emotional roller coaster. Like, this is the only book I've ever cried at. Well, no, I cried at Archer's Voice. But this was the first book that I've ever, and like I sobbed at this. Like Archer's Voice, I had a tear in my eye, but this book broke me and it had an emotional chokehold on me, and it was probably the worst one to start the week with. But yeah, that's 3rd. 4th, we've got Confess by Colleen Hoover. I flipping love this book so much. I love the art aspect, like it's just right up my street. And yeah, this is 4th place. Place number 5, One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Loved this book. Then I think I'm going to go for The Flat Share by Beth O'Leary at number 6, followed up by The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood at number 7. So that is it for this video. I really hope that you have enjoyed watching and that you've got some good recommendations from this and that you enjoyed a longer video. Please do give it a big thumbs up if you did, and remember to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video.